Christmas, everybody. I'm Santa John.
Santa John,
Santa
good
John.
morning. Did you fill my stocking with goodies?
I
haven't looked yet.
Your stocking was stuffed with care.
I love it. I'm Peggy Burton. Good morning.
John, I'm Jim Fuller, and John has not stuffed any stockings. He waits till absolutely the last moment.
We know what
to do
John's been
anything.
stuffing, don't we?
I can assure you, yes.
Sausage.
There you go.
You know, it's the time of year, folks, and it's Christmas, and we're here, and we're glad to be here, and we're glad you're with us, and want to thank you for a great year.
Absolutely.
Here at Charter Channel 6, this is our 20th year we're in.
20th year.
And we're really proud of it.
And John, you know, that's something we don't mention enough. So let's come back to that here in just a moment, because a lot of that's happened. And John said that we're proud to be here, and I think we are. Some of our staff is like running around here like, why are we here? Why are we here?
Why aren't we home by the Christmas tree?
Why are we here today?
Sipping eggnog.
Because we're crazy.
That's it.
We're crazy. Been a great holiday season. We had some rain.
Oh my goodness, it really was hammering.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Still may be.
Still raining, spitting a little snow out there, maybe.
I know.
What they're calling for. So
I predict we're not going to get any of that.
Nah.
You know, so
We
I like
probably
your
won't.
Christmas tie, by the way.
well, thank you very much.
I have to look close to see
It's
it.
kind of a
But
different
yeah,
deal.
it's a
here,
different
you
deal.
know? Yeah.
I like it.
Well, again, what I think one of the things we want to do is give many thanks to the flower shop for all they do for us
love it.
throughout
This
the
is
year.
really pretty.
And the decorations, they just let me go over there and get whatever I want. And there's a Santa Claus right there behind me. Look at him. He's looking over my shoulder going, I don't know whether you've been naughty or nice. He's
I like this
trying to
deer.
figure that out. So
He knows. He's already got you figured
He's
out.
got me figured out.
He's got you figured out.
I like the Mercedes commercials.
I do too.
Last year, the Mercedes commercials had these 8 silver Mercedes pull out in line, and Santa is walking in this one storage building, and they're all red in there. And he's trying to figure out which one he's going to drive for the sleigh. And there's this little sports car that cranks his engine up and squeals his tires a little bit, and Santa gets in that one and
off he
falls
goes.
in behind the 8, and they go down the road. Well, this year, Santa's walking through the storage building, and here's all these red ones over here, and they're squealing their tires and honking their horns and hitting the brakes and making all this noise. He just looks at them and shakes his head, and he looks over at the other side, and there's all these white Mercedes. And they're all going right down the line, just perfect like they're supposed to. And then the film backs off, and Santa's standing in the middle, and on at the big door in the front, on the side where the white ones are, it says good list, and on the side where the red ones are, it says naughty list. And they all leave out on trucks to be delivered, and he just laughs. So that means, as far as he's concerned, naughty or nice, you're still going to get something.
You're going to get something good.
I
Mercedes
just think
can
that's
send us
pretty
a
funny.
check. Can't
You know,
they?
I like the Audi commercial where it's about this older couple, and they're home and they're preparing for I guess their children to come in, and their son comes in a new Audi, and he's like, a young man probably in his early 30s. He comes home to say Mama and Daddy, and when he comes in, have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's
and
cute.
when he comes in, they go out the back door and they get in his
They get in
Audi,
his Audi
and
and
they're
off they
gone.
go.
Times have changed. They ain't
Times have
hanging out there.
changed,
They ain't hanging out there doing that.
And
So-
Audi's made a really big push, and a lot of that is due to the movie series, what's it called? It's not the driver, it's the deliverer or something like that. That's what he does, is deliver things, and he's a big stud, and it's all about fighting, and he ends up in battles and all of this stuff, embattled every time. The Transporter is the name of it.
I haven't seen that.
And he drives Audis, and that's all there is in those movies is Audis, and that has made a big difference, I think, in their.
I'm impressed that you can remember what the commercial is advertising. I remember the commercial, but then I have a tendency to forget what it is they're advertising.
We talked about that
I don't always
here on this
remember
show
that,
one time,
yeah.
because now a lot of the commercials are so good
That you think they're a show.
that you pay attention to what's going on, but you don't pay attention to who it's for, or it's
And that'll be coming up. And when that's most prevalent, I think, is during the Super Bowl.
Yes, yeah.
Because those people are paying like $2.5 million for 30
a commercial,
seconds.
and that's just phenomenal to me. the amount
And
of money
particularly
that goes into
when a lot of it was .com money, at the end of the commercial, you had no idea who was advertising.
Right.
Which just seems insane to me. If I was going to pay $2.5 million for a commercial, I'd have my logo up there for 30 seconds, and
I love
where
the
people
Budweiser commercials.
knew who was there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess maybe it's not that way anymore. But I think John was a marketing major, and I would imagine that getting the person's name out there, the product's name, was premier to the whole deal. But
all anybody can say is, wasn't that a pretty dog?
Yeah.
Right.
What's that dog advertising? Nobody knows.
I got this email that was so sweet. It was a picture of the nativity, and you may have gotten it too. And there's this baby in the manger, and a German Shepherd dog laying in there asleep with it. That's the sweetest picture.
Mm-hmm.
He picked a good place to go to sleep.
That's right. Protection.
Yeah. Have y'all seen the nativity yet? Down at First Baptist?
I saw it last night, actually.
I meant to go last night.
Yeah.
I was having a little.
What a great job they do, and it takes over 100 people, I believe, to
Did you see the
make
little baby camel?
Yes, I did.
Was he sweet?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess those camels have been here for a while, but I drove by yesterday and it was raining and kind of cold, and I'm thinking, I wonder if these camels are over there thinking, what's going on here? Why are we here?
Where's my desert?
I'm not used to this.
Where's my desert? Yeah, I wonder how that does work out for them. They're camels. We don't have camels here.
Well, they're probably acclimated now.
I guess so.
Back during the, at one point there were a lot of camels here, but they were used out west, and they were used by
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the military had camels at one point.
Is that because they could carry a lot of water inside their bellies?
They were used out west in the desert, and some of those, because we do have desert here.
Well,
you just don't realize it unless you drive to it.
Right.
And they were used out there by the military at some point.
It's interesting. I should have
Training,
known
I would imagine, to where when the guys went across to where there was a real desert, they knew how to handle a camel.
It, yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a great event, and we're so fortunate in this town that our town gets very involved in whatever's going on. And be it the Christmas parade or the Old Town Stroll or whatever's happening, everybody buys into it, and those things are usually a great success. The civic choirs and we've been
Nutcracker at the Civic Center.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to film most of that, and we're going to show you a lot of that stuff today.
That's great.
We've shown it throughout the holiday season, and it's great entertainment by wonderful young and old alike.
And it's nice that people are willing to give the time it takes to produce a product that's going to be entertaining and fun.
Right. You're exactly correct.
Or whatever.
You are exactly correct.
It's this time of the year, too, you realize how many talented people there are.
I know,
in this time of year, you're talking about all the civic choirs and the various programs that you see. I was at your church yesterday filming one.
What's your church, too?
So.
Did y'all do another program?
Well, we have usually on
Sunday?
Christmas Sunday. That's when the young ones do the tableau of the Mary and the Kings and other little bitty knotheads about that tall wearing crowns and silk stuff.
Yeah, when I was little, I couldn't understand how Mary, Joseph, and the baby all got in the manger.
They actually had a deal yesterday where they did a little comedy thing on the virgin birth kind of thing that was pretty neat as well. So, and John saved me one point. I'm there and my grandchildren were involved in that program, and I had the camera in the wrong place because Isabella's 6 years old and I didn't see her, and she was playing the piano, and John had to straighten me out over there. I thought,
she's over there.
So anyway, but it was a lot of fun.
But we've got some. Excuse me, my throat's stopped up this morning. We have some guests that are going to be in today. One of them is Jamie Davenport, and if you've not noticed in town, there is a new store, and it's called the Grady Mack store, and it is over on the side of Tennessee Industries and right off of Atlantic Street, and they are doing great things there. It's a new production facility. Well, it's not a new production facility, but they're producing jeans and have other things in that store, and we have some film of that, and Jamie's going to come up and talk to us about it. So that's hometown goods being made right here in America, being sold in Tullahoma and out of Tullahoma, and
I'd like to see America
great
selling
deal.
more American things.
It's a great deal, and we're glad to have
Americans
him with us.
buying more American things.
Yeah.
Excuse me, other countries.
Excuse me, other countries.
But I think we need to support our own country.
Yeah.
Just an opinion. I like your hat.
What? Thank you. What do you want for Christmas, Peggy Burke?
Peace.
And peace.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Courage.
Yeah. Well, that's a good answer.
Whatever. Yeah.
How about decorations?
You're going to get on that? You know I don't do that. Not much.
Not much.
But I do
bit.
love to see other people's houses all decorated up. I can guarantee you that Beverly Long's house has got a tree to the ceiling, and it's absolutely beautiful, and nutcrackers will be everywhere. She always, and Ann Baldwin, beautiful decorations.
I was watching the Today Show before we came on, and they were showing New York City.
Oh wow, yeah.
And all of these kids, and I mean, there's nutcrackers everywhere that are real people dressed up as nutcrackers, playing instruments and stuff. And just think lights, and I mean, that's the capital of capitalism.
Oh yeah.
Right there, and think about the money that's spent.
The money that's spent on all this stuff, and sometimes I think, well, if we're going over the fiscal cliff, let's stop spending so much money and pay off some of our debts. What do you think?
Paying off some of our debts would be nice.
Wouldn't be bad.
Well, but that money that's being spent is being spent by capitalists, and it's jobs, and it's infusing money into the economy. It's not. That's not government money.
Well,
that's,
I know that.
That's,
yeah.
And let me tell you a little story about, before we go here at the opening. Fran and John Gray, been married 2 years, went to New York City to see a friend play a recital in Carnegie Recital Hall.
Awesome.
We were up there, and we're roaming around, and we went to Macy's and Gimbel's and all of that stuff, and we're in Lord & Taylor's. And being a marketing person as I am, I'm looking at all of the displays in this store. Well, of course, we both have cameras because their family business is photography. So here's John over there taking pictures of all of these displays that are in the store. Well, the next thing we know, 2 policemen get us. We're taken downstairs into the bowels of Lord & Taylor.
Oh, my goodness.
And being accused of being design espionage photographers for one of the other stores.
Wow.
And you wouldn't even consider, being from Tullahoma, Tennessee, that because somebody had dressed a mannequin and put some decoration around it, that would be a licensed or copyrighted design.
Right.
But it was.
And because that's where that stuff happens, is in New York City.
So you were not allowed to film it?
Not allowed to take a picture, even a still picture.
Interesting.
And they wanted to film out of our cameras, and I said, you can't have it. And he said, well, we're going to take you to jail.
And you
said? And I said, I'm not going to, listen, we're from Tullahoma, Tennessee. I'm not going to sell this to anybody, and we've got pictures, family pictures on this roll of film. I'm not giving them to you.
Good for you.
And they finally let us go. They didn't want to, but they let us go and told us not to come back to the store.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that's not very nice.
Well, we were in New York City.
And knew that you probably weren't ever coming back there.
We weren't going to be back anyway.
We weren't going to be back in that
We
store.
weren't going to be back anyway, but we'll be right back with you folks after these messages with the rest of today's show. Merry Christmas to you, and don't go away, because we're going to have a little bit of fun here.
On Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. He is the ultimate gift, our Savior. We wish that everybody would have a blessed day and enjoy His love and peace. Yep.
We thank you for your continued support, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas and God bless. And they saw a star.
Wait a minute. What are you doing? You don't even know what you're doing. You go.
Hey, I'm sorry. How are you? What a precious
It's nice to see familiar faces while enjoying great Sears low prices at your locally owned and operated Sears hometown store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. Mike and his crew are a premier dealer where you'll find great Sears quality and availability at the lowest prices guaranteed. Featuring Craftsman tools with Sears' famous lifetime warranty, Craftsman lawn and garden equipment, 10 major appliance brands featuring Kenmore, Electrolux and Whirlpool, Sealy bedding, Kenmore and Dyson vacuums, Nordic Track and Soul Fitness equipment. And if it's not on our shelves, it's available online at Sears.com with free shipping to either location. Sears Hometown Store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. We're right in your neighborhood.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Okay, folks, I'm here, and we were talking earlier about a new business in Tullahoma, and this is always exciting when you have Tullahoma people creating new business and manufacturing here in Tullahoma, selling here in Tullahoma, and also shipping all over the world. And I'm here with Jamie Davenport, and he is the brainchild behind the Grady Mack store in Tullahoma, and that is on the side street. What is that street?
Atlantic and Grizzard.
It's Grizzard.
Yeah.
Atlantic and Grizzard. Right. It's in the Tullahoma Industries building.
Correct.
But it's on the side.
Yes, sir.
And it's Grady Mack Denim Company.
That's right.
And your family owns Tullahoma Industries.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long have y'all had that business?
Dad purchased the assets from Jack Anthony in 1999.
Okay.
But he's been in the apparel business since he got out of college in the 70s. So
right.
He started out in that building with Tennessee Apparel, so it's come full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
And you, excuse me, you decided that, you and your dad decided that you thought, of course, you make product for the military.
Right.
Camouflage, and I mean that business that stuff has been doing that ever since it. And of course, I remember when it was Bullseye Overall plant.
Right. So a lot of denim's gone through that place.
Right.
So we hope to bring it back.
And so what we have here is we're gonna talk over this. So cut the sound down on that. And this is showing where your store is. And like you say, this is on Grizzard Street. And there's the entrance. And when you walk in there, you see all kinds of old film from or old pictures from back in the plant days when it was probably the Bullseye plant.
It was. That picture that was just shown was actually that production floor in the 1930s. That's actually the store area now. So kind of a neat thing.
Now, a lot of these beams and stuff were added to give it that sort of a warehouse barn look.
Well, they were actually added for structural purposes. Back when we had the last ice storm, that's the oldest part of the building, built in 1901, and the ceiling started to sag. So they came in there with a structural engineer and reinforced everything.
So you didn't have to. That's not something you did.
No, that's
to
actually,
make the store look neat, but it does make the store look neat.
It does. It worked out well, but they're built in 1901, and they didn't have steam lines and air lines and sprinkler systems. So over the years, all that weight on the ceiling just took its toll, and finally they had to do something.
So what we're looking at here is some of the products that you carry, and you have now. That's the Lucky Gene.
That's the Lucky brand gene. We're starting production on that. Actually, in January, we've been doing some trials and pre-production stuff. So we're getting ready to get cranked up here. So we're excited about that. Hopefully, we'll have some Grady Mac genes coming off the production line in February.
Okay.
So.
And what's really, I think, is really cool about this, and you'll see this in just a minute, but on the one side, to the right of where we're looking right now, there are windows where you can stand in the retail store and look into the manufacturing area.
Right. We thought that'd be kind of a neat thing to let people see the process. So we kept those windows there. I think they were shelving to pass thread and supplies back and forth. So we just utilized
and
them.
what's your I know I thought that was great. That was a great jacket over there for $10.
Yeah, that was kind of a closeout deal. We have a fabric guy on staff, and he developed the polypropylene double-sided fleece,
right,
similar to the
there the windows are where you can look. Now that's looking from the sales floor into the manufacturing area.
Correct.
And what's your price point on these things? You got a pretty good price point on them. I didn't
We
notice.
do. The Lucky brand goes from $89 to about $130, and we're going to be in the same ballpark.
Okay.
The premium denim market has really exploded. It's, even despite the recession, it just continues to expand, and it's an area that we feel like we can compete in because
right,
we're not, the apparel market's been devastated over the years by things going offshore,
right,
prices being beat down year after year after year. So the denim market's kind of a different animal. People still put a value on American-made jean.
And you're putting style in these things, and you're going to the newest style and the different designs on the pockets and all of that
all
stuff.
All the different washes and the hand finishes, the whiskers and the sanding and all that
whiskers.
Stuff. They call the whiskering when there's lines up around the top of the jeans. So.
Okay, that looks like you've worn them long enough to where they're worn out.
Exactly.
Or been had bleach put on them and a little bit too much.
And you wouldn't believe all the things they do to them at the laundry, but they get creative. It's a neat thing.
So, what's your background?
I graduated from the University of Tennessee in 2004, the microbiology degree, believe it or not. So, not putting that to good use, but it's a good opportunity for me. I came back, started working for Dad, and it's been good. It's been a great experience.
And you're also a new father.
I am. We had our first child this past Monday, so baby boy, healthy. Mom's doing great, so we're blessed.
And what's
this
Mom's
Christmas.
name?
Katie. Her maiden name is Katie Henry.
Okay.
So she's Katie Davenport now.
All right.
So.
Well, good for you. Yeah. I bet that Vanessa and Jim and that whole bunch are very excited. Don and that whole crew.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Having a great Christmas.
That's probably one of the best Christmas presents a person could have.
Well, we think so.
You open a new store and you have a new child. That's great.
It's been a wild Christmas, but it's been good.
So have you developed your specific hours yet for the store?
During the holiday season, we're going from about 8 to 8, and after the first of the year, we'll probably go from 10 to 6 during the week, and probably 10 to 8 on the weekends.
On the weekends, okay.
Probably 12 to 6 on Sundays.
So, and one of the things that I know is happening now, and not just in your industry, but in almost every retail industry and manufacturing industry, is the importance of online sales and online marketing.
It's huge.
And so you're putting a lot of energy, I'm sure, into that.
We are. We're developing a website. We're going to sell all the Grady Mac products through
Facebook,
Twitter,
all the social media, and all of that
yeah.
stuff. You got to have it.
Exactly.
You got to have it.
It's very important in this day and age. It's where most of your sales will come from ultimately. So.
And I've sort of made a point to Diane at the chamber that one of the most important things we as merchants in Tullahoma can do is make sure that everybody has an active operating website, because the young mothers, and they don't drag these kids to the mall anymore like they used to and shake doors.
No.
You know, unless they're going somewhere for socialization.
Right.
To a mall, to go to a movie and get something to eat and, you know, make that a social day. But just day in and day out buying, they're doing it right here. Mm-hmm. They're not getting their kids out in the rain and snow to go to the store to buy
Don't
something.
have to fight the crowds.
Right there.
Everything at your fingertips.
Tomorrow it's on the doorstep. If it doesn't work, you do this again. Somebody picks it up and puts another one down there.
Yep.
So it's very important. And you young folks are, you know, I'm sure you're very also into that part of the business.
Yeah, we are. Because
we old guys find it kind of hard to understand all of that, you know.
Well, we're putting a lot of energy toward that, so hopefully it works out.
Well, Jamie, we appreciate you taking a little time off during your holiday season to come be here with us, but we want to do all we can to help you promote what you're doing there.
Well, we appreciate that very much.
And know that you're welcome anytime, and good luck to you. And we're just mighty proud to have that going on in Tullahoma, because to me, a business like you're opening and running is a whole lot better than one more restaurant. You know, because this is local people, this is local selling, local sewing.
Right.
It's creating a lot of jobs.
We hope to create about 110 jobs.
That's great.
That'd be great.
That's marvelous.
Thank you very much.
My
Merry
friend.
Christmas to you.
All right, Betty.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back. And you go to the Grady Mac store and see what they have down there. Everything from pictures to fishing rods to turkey calls to helmets signed by Colt McCoy from
University of Texas.
So you can find all kinds of neat things there at the Grady Mac store. We'll be right back after these messages.
You've won just about everything there is to win in racing. What's next?
I'd like more people to know about ER Extra.
The emergency room at Harton Regional Medical Center?
I just want them to get the best care they can get.
That just gets me right here, Mark.
Maybe you'd like to pay them a visit.
ER Extra at Harton Regional Medical Center.
ER Extra. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back to Living. You're going to be glad you hung around for this. I have on the set with me John Michael Harris. Hey, John. Welcome.
How are you?
I understand you're the son of Mr. Jerry Harris.
I am, yes, sir. Yes,
and
ma'am.
the brother of Miss Reagan Harris something.
Hartman, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome. I want you to tell us what it is you do. I'm a little clueless.
All right, well, Predominantly, I'm actually Reagan's partner here in the Southeast with Fortune Management. We are a practice management coaching organization for primarily dentists, and we actually launched our veterinary division in August of last year. So that's been a
veterinary division also.
Yes, ma'am. So that's been an extraordinary undertaking and also an extraordinary blessing at the same time.
I'm a little curious to know what you do in that part of it with the.
We actually support doctors, dentists, and vets and their teams with all business resources, all back layer responsibilities, from financial planning, budgeting, staffing, team building, communications, marketing.
So if a dentist needs some people to work with him,
correct. For example, if you've got a startup dentist, or you've got
and he's new to the town,
correct.
He calls your organization,
correct.
And you all do what?
We'll conduct the research for him, determine what his opportunities are as far as location, as far as city, town, population, what his strategy needs to be with respect to marketing.
Okay.
We'll give him some tools and resources to help him build the team that's necessary to carry him forward.
And so do you actually help find people to work with him if
we can do we conduct preliminary interviews, but ultimately, and we'll help him determine the characteristics that he's looking for on his team to make sure that he's going to be successful and doesn't run into a lot of the challenges that a lot of teams encounter throughout the process.
Right.
So we help them avoid some of those roadblocks and some of those speed bumps.
So how long has this organization been working here?
We have corporately, we've been established since around in the mid '80s.
Okay.
We actually started actually, matter of fact, Dr. Bass, Dr. Paul Bass here in Tullahoma is a founding principal. He was a dentist at the time. Actually hired a consulting firm to come in, help him, do a lot of the things that we support our clients with, and then saw the value and how it improved his practice, his success, and his overall profitability. In addition to that, he's a big believer in personal motivation, success psychologies, and philosophies, and a lot of those things. So he saw an opportunity to couple the systems and the business, the business resources with the personal professional development stuff at the same time.
That's very smart.
And created a very unique a niche, so to speak, for us. Because there aren't other consulting companies out there, coaching companies out there that do what we do.
Well, like if there's somebody thinking about coming into Tullahoma and they happen to be watching this show, and they want to contact you, how do they do that?
They can actually look us up, Fortune Management, mgmt.com.
Right.
They can email myself, they can email Reagan, our contact information, our phone numbers. Always available. We're always looking for.
So if they wanted to, they would go just look up your name, John Michael Harris, or would it be under?
They could find me on LinkedIn. They can find us on Facebook. They can find us on Twitter. They can also find us on YouTube.
Because I can imagine if I were a new dentist going into a place, and I think, well, where do I locate, and all those things, you supply them with that information.
Actually, I checked our SEO, our how we're ranking as far as the search engines are concerned, and I actually Googled yesterday practice management in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And my partner Reagan's name actually pops up.
Good.
So that's a direct link specifically to us. Just Google practice management Tennessee,
and you can ask questions and
absolutely
get answers right
reach
there.
out to us, contact us, let us know what kind
you
of
love
challenges.
Your work.
Absolutely.
I can sort of tell you do.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it's just been coming from my previous background into this role. It's been a blessing.
And so you're excited about what you do, and I think that makes a big difference in how you get people involved with what you do. Is if you love it, then they're going to appreciate what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there any big thing you need to relate to the world out there?
Not to my knowledge. We, as I'd mentioned earlier, we actually joined with some of our partners or some of our clients in the Southeast, a couple of clients out of Arkansas, and we had gotten to a discussion after one of our management program dates, and they were intrigued as to the opportunities that were out there for people in their profession, people in the healthcare community for legal and environmental compliance support. And there are, and just that was a big part of my background coming into this, and it had been a challenge moving forward as to how I could take my previous experience into this new environment.
And your previous experience
was with FedEx.
FedEx.
I was with them for a little over 10 years. Started on the ground level as a package handler, and then went into progressive levels of management over the next 10 years. And when I left there in 2010, May of 2010, I was actually on a regional quality action team, and that's specifically what we did. I had 27 stations that I was responsible for implementing and developing best practices for legal and environmental compliance.
Well, you obviously have some great leadership qualities, and you're putting them to use.
I've been fortunate to have been associated with the individuals and the companies that I've been. I mean, FedEx is an incredible organization. They absolutely devote the time and energy and effort and education into their people.
And you know what? Just as a person that has had FedEx show up at the door, they're always so friendly.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
That's a good thing, and I think that's probably one of the things you promote is being friendly and easy to get along with.
Yeah, and I keep
and know
in
what
touch.
you're doing. Yeah,
and I keep in touch with some of my former colleagues with FedEx. And matter of fact, I've got a service manager who is now a sort manager out of Johnson City. That was he and I are really close friends. We've worked together for a long time, and they're in their peak season now.
Yeah.
So he's actually reached out to me over the past couple of weeks, letting me know some of the challenges that they're facing. You know, what do I do here? What do I do here?
And you've been able to help him out.
Absolutely.
Well, do you feel good having your sister working with you?
I absolutely
I think that's great.
I absolutely do. It is. We have a very unique relationship personally and professionally, and it's you know, I couldn't imagine having a working relationship that's been more impactful
than working with your sister.
Absolutely.
That's great. How about the little man that she brought with her today?
He's a big man. He's 19 months old. He's almost as tall as I am.
It's great to be an uncle, isn't it? Are you going to train him in the same profession?
We are. We
Grow him into the business. That would be great. Well, I think that I don't know what else I need to talk about with you, and I hope that you have been able to get across all the information you wanted to. I'm proud of you, and I think it's great that you're located right here in this community, right?
Yes, ma'am. And we've actually, in conjunction with our management program last year, we're actually launching a separate company.
Oh, okay.
It's called Assurance 360, and it is a legal environmental compliance software. I'm actually working with a software developer to build some of the functionality.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at having Intuit host it on like a cloud-based platform for our clients, and it's truly comprehensive. Like, there are organizations out there that are vertical specific. In other words, they only work with dentists or they only work with vets. There are also organizations out there, and the same organizations, as a matter of fact, only operate one facet of legal environmental compliance. They focus on OSHA or focus on HIPAA or focus on labor law. And following our discussion with a couple of our clients, we've decided to look into opportunities and how we can further support our clients in the Southeast and healthcare providers, you know, across the country. So we're developing a legal environmental compliance software that's available to.
And is this fairly new?
It's brand new. We launched it, and matter of fact, we're looking at launching the preliminary stages of our service offering in March of next year at the Hinman Dental Meeting in Atlanta.
So 2013 March.
Correct. But it was actually founded in August of last year.
That's exciting.
So it's been just a monumental undertaking,
I can imagine.
And just a lot of background work, but it's more than worth it. So.
Well, that's fantastic. John, thanks for coming. Good luck in everything you do. It sounds like you're excited about it, and I'm sure you'll be on task.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Living.
Times have changed since Traders Bank first opened our doors in 1889. Back then, online banking meant people were waiting ahead of you. And technology? The word hadn't even been invented yet. Even though banking has transformed over the years, at Traders, one thing has never changed. Friendly smiles, a neighborly hello, and a sincere appreciation for our customers. When a Traders employee says, "You're welcome," you are, and you always will be. Traders Bank, you're welcome. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil's street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us on the set now the mayor of Tullahoma, who's been nice enough to come out on Christmas Day here and join us because he had nothing else to do, I'm sure. We're pleased to have with us Mayor Lane Curlee. And this, I said you had nothing else to do, but this has kind of been a busy day for you because you had this program I know going on that you and Evelyn have done for the last, I believe you said 17 years.
17 years.
Tell us a little bit about that before we start out.
Well, this is a program that we started 17 years ago, and it was just a way to support and to show encouragement to people that were maybe having a tough go of things. Unfortunately, there are people that are out of work in Tullahoma. There are people that are homeless. There are people that just down on their luck for whatever reason. And so we thought it'd be a good opportunity on Thanksgiving Day and today to be able to just provide a meal and a place for a little encouragement, and it's not just for that, but it's also anybody that's lonely.
Sure.
We just have a number of family members that cannot travel to Tullahoma, and we just got some people that are alone today, and so we thought it'd be a great opportunity to let them sit around a table with other people and just enjoy a nice meal.
Yeah, and how many people took advantage of that?
Well, we typically, historically, have about 500 people.
Right.
Right, so between 400 and 500 people, we never know.
And you get a lot of volunteers, I think, that help you guys put this on as well.
Oh, we do. The volunteer community in Tullahoma is just fantastic. Historically, we'll have 100 and 100 plus people there, and because an awful lot of people that we serve meals to do not have transportation. So they're these sweet little ladies all over Tullahoma. They just don't have a way to get out, and so we'll take a meal to them.
I see. Okay.
And so we've always needed delivery people to package the meals, people to stay in the building and serve the meals. So it actually is a pretty community-wide effort.
Yeah. I've kind of always wondered, what is your Christmas Day like for you and your family? I mean, do you actually?
Well, the kids are grown now, and
right.
Both Rob lives in Tullahoma but works in Manchester, and our daughter Rosalind is a junior at Tennessee Tech. So they've got their own activities, their own friends and things to do things with. But once we finish up this Christmas meal serving 500 people and with 100 volunteers, then we typically just go back home and to be honest, sort of relax for a couple hours.
Yeah. Okay.
And then but we do this every Wednesday. People perhaps don't realize that every Wednesday we serve meals to anybody that's financially struggling in Tullahoma. No questions asked. If and see, we serve 200 meals every Wednesday to people. So every Wednesday afternoon. So we've served in the past 3.5 years since we started the Wednesday program. We've served approximately 35,000 meals.
That's unbelievable. You're to be commended for that.
Well, I appreciate it. But once again, it's a volunteer effort.
Right.
One person can't do but so much. But I've always found that if a leader is willing to step up and try to do, this had not been done before, and I didn't know how well it was going to go over 3.5 years ago, or how we're going to fund it, how we're going to. So Evelyn started cooking in our kitchen initially, but quickly outgrew that, and so we just depend on volunteers. But I'm pleased to do that, and it's really, I think people appreciate the meals, Jim, but I really think they appreciate even more the fact that somebody cares enough about them to and to encourage them and provide a little hope in their lives that, things are going to get better.
Yeah, in talking with you over the years, and you've been involved in a lot of things that I've been truly amazed at that actually work. But every time you talk about that, you always mention Evelyn. She must be a key part of this.
Well, of course she is. I know, absolutely she is. She's more than willing to let me stand up and take some credit for things, but certainly she's the one behind the scenes making all that happen. If you can imagine serving 200 meals every Wednesday,
right,
and the effort it takes to organize that and bring the volunteers together, make sure the food is right, and all I mean, it really is an amazing task that, and we both just, we both lead pretty busy lives, one thing or another, but on Wednesday afternoon about 2 o'clock, we just stop what we're doing. And we serve these meals and encourage people, and it's certainly, hopefully, benefited the recipients, but certainly it's benefited us as well and the volunteers.
Let's change the topic a little bit to the city of Tullahoma. What are some significant things that you think have occurred in our community in the past year?
Well, good question. I want to focus on telling our story. If we don't tell our story, no one else is going to. And so we've got a top 5 school system in the state. We have a top 5 general aviation airport in the state. We have fiber to the premise to every home and business in Tullahoma. So we are the only city in Tennessee with those 3 attributes. And if we can just get our message across to people that want to invest in communities like Tullahoma with their business or their homes, then we'll grow. And I think we need growth in order to sustain the quality of way of life, in order to provide services to people of Tullahoma. You have to grow. And in the past 10 years, we had not seen much growth. And so I really think that we're putting in place some things now that we'll see some growth. Now, I'm going to make clear, I'm not interested in Murfreesboro kind of growth.
Right.
I just don't, that wouldn't happen anyway, but I'm not talking about that kind of growth. I'm just talking about 1.5% growth a year. Then we'll have a much more vibrant economy, we'll have a more entrepreneurial community, and those are very, very important attributes. And I think we're going to see the retail environment change over the next, in 2013. We've reached out to literally hundreds of organizations that would like to invest in our community. So the kind of growth that I'm looking for is for young families. I speak to high school groups all the time, and just about without exception, once they graduate, they're ready to go out of town or ready to go someplace to work. And I understand that. 40 years ago, I was the same way. I was ready to leave. But once they leave, they get married and start to have a family, Tullahoma is a really good place to raise a family. You and I both have done that.
Yes, absolutely.
And we do not, we're not in Nashville or Huntsville or Chattanooga. We never will be, and that's okay. But when it comes to raising your families, good schools, very nurturing environment, a safe community, Tullahoma is just a great place to raise a family. So that's the kind of group we want to come back to Tullahoma in their 20s and raise their families here.
We've seen some positive things relative to tax collections, sales tax collections in this year, have we not?
Oh, we have. It's been a remarkable year. Of the past 15 months, 13 of those months have seen significant increases over the same month the previous year. And 2 months out of the 15, it was flat. And there's a lot of communities that would take flat situation, but so yeah, and we're looking forward to just an excellent 2013. I'm very, very bullish about 2013. I think we're going to see some improvements in Tullahoma based on things that we've been putting in place. I think we're going to implement those in 2013. It's going to be a good year. I mean, it's all about jobs. It's all about growth, and we're working really, really hard with the manufacturers in town, the industries, the retailers, the service companies to make sure they have as good a year in 2013 as we can.
In the past year, in 2012, we saw the opening of Dunham's, I believe, occurred this year, and that was a pretty significant thing as far as
it was, and they're
go ahead.
And they're having a great year too, yeah.
And the National Health Care Corporation broke ground on this new nursing facility, which is going to provide, do I recall, somewhere around 100 jobs?
That's correct, 110 new jobs.
Right. Okay. And so, those are certainly positive things. The widening of Cedar Lane is probably going to be something very positive for us in the long run, would you think?
It is. Absolutely it is. We want to make the corridor between Harton Regional Medical Center and around to Lakeway Place the medical corridor for Tullahoma. And I think by enhancing that road, it will be even more attractive to people that want to invest in our community.
Yeah, we're seeing, I think, the new franchise,
Chick-fil-A will be
Chick-fil-A is coming up this year, which is several jobs associated with that.
Absolutely.
More than you'd think.
Sure.
More than you'd think.
Sure. And Chick-fil-A is just an excellent company. They're very well recognized and appreciated throughout the country, so I think that will make a nice addition. We want to make Tullahoma. We're certainly a retail destination, but we want to be even more of a retail destination. And that's just a strength of Tullahoma. We have 204 physicians attached to Harton Regional Medical Center. We're certainly a medical hub for the area. We're an aviation hub, certainly, for the area. Our school system is recognized as one of the top in the state. In retail, we want to continue to push retail because it not only provides jobs, but it provides income to provide the services that people are accustomed to having in Tullahoma.
Do you see hope for more retail in the mall, for instance? And we lost Dillard's a few years back, and do you see possibilities?
No, absolutely. No, I've gone on record as saying that I sincerely believe the mall will be full. Not just the Dillard's building, but the mall will be full a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully even less than that. I think there are some things, there's to be some pretty exciting announcements take place the first quarter of next year.
Okay, all right. And he's not going to give us a hint of what that is, but we'll be looking forward to those. As far as the leadership of Tullahoma, and particularly the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, it appears that we have a pretty cohesive group there, that everybody's focused on positive things, and we don't have maybe the strife that we've had in some of the past.
No, we've got an outstanding board. I mean, the 6 aldermen do an excellent job. They're out in the community, they're doing things, they're involved, they're active, they're listening, and they're bringing that information back to the city council, and I think we're taking action on that. So I'm very proud of all the aldermen and the work they do.
When you talk about being out and connecting with the community, I sense that there's some move to do that as far as your department heads, because I know that we see the fire chief and the police chief a lot, and the other department heads are quite accessible. If you at least as far as our news reporting goes, is that something that you?
Oh, absolutely. They do not work for me. I want to make that clear. They work for Jody Boss, the city administrator. And in fact, and people might find this hard to believe, but I have very little interaction with the city government. We have a very well-run city government. The department heads have been there in many cases for a couple of decades. They know their work. They're professionals. I appreciate all of them as well. But yes, they are supposed to be out in the community, because an important part of leadership is listening. And they need to be accessible and available. And they are. They do. I think they just do an excellent job, and I'm looking forward to 2013. We've got a number of initiatives that I want to work on as mayor, not so much city government, and so I'm looking forward to just an excellent 2013.
Do you like being mayor?
I like being mayor. I enjoy it. It has its challenging days and minutes and hours. It's very much a part-time position, but I do enjoy being mayor. I enjoy trying to make a difference for the people of Tullahoma.
You've been state representative, you've been alderman, you've been mayor. Do you have any aspirations of doing any of those other than mayor again, or perhaps moving up to a higher political office?
I suspect I've reached my level of incompetence right now, and I enjoy being mayor. Don't know how much longer I want to be mayor, how long the citizens will want me to be mayor, but we'll just take it one day at a time. But I'm really excited about 2013. May I share with you some of the things that we'll be working on real quick? These are not city government so much initiatives, although they support this, but these are some things that, as mayor, that I want to try to work on. And I'll come around to make a point in just a second. We want to be more of a green community. We want to be involved in more recycling, energy efficiency. So we'll continue to stress and work on some things to make Tullahoma more a green community. Second, we want to be a more fit community. And I realize to some people that's certainly none of my business, but if we want to initiate some things that will make us a more fit community. We'll go on walks. We got some beautiful greenways, some really nice parks in the community. And we want to be more aware of what we eat. And so anyway, there'll be some initiatives along that way. Third, we want to make Tullahoma recognized as more of an arts community. Okay, whether it be performing arts, visual arts, dramatic arts, whatever it is, people like to be associated with an arts community. So we're going to bring all that together, and we're going to be talking about arts in Tullahoma, what we can do to leverage all of that. So all of young families like to live in a green community typically. They like to be in an arts community. They like to have association in a fit community. All that is designed to make us more attractive to young families, and we'll be doing. We'll be introducing in the spring this disc golf, frisbee golf,
right? Which
might not appeal to everybody, but it really will be appeal to young people and to young families particularly. So many people are excited about that, and I'm excited about it.
It's been huge in some places.
Oh, it has, yeah. And there'll be, believe it or not, there are leagues that travel around, and they see Tullahoma as the course when it's finished. Will be just a great asset to the community. So all of this is designed to make us more attractive to young families, because they bring a vibrancy, as I mentioned earlier, more of an entrepreneurial attitude about what they do. And I think it'll be exciting to make us more attractive to young families.
Okay. Mayor, thank you so much for coming by today. We appreciate it very much, and hope that you find some time during the course of the day to enjoy Christmas yourself.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with more Living right after these messages.
The holiday season is upon us, and for all of your banking needs, look no further than Citizens Tri-County Bank.
All of us at Citizens Tri-County Bank want to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Jay Gregory invites you to spend part of your holiday season in Bell Buckle this year. The merchants at Southern Charm make gift buying easy, offering Jay Jordan's quality clothing and other designer fashions, pad rags, silly cow chocolate, shabby chic homemade distressed furniture, antiques, jellies, jams, and a gourmet food line from the world-famous Bell Buckle Cafe. And speaking of the Bell Buckle Cafe, make sure you stop by and enjoy some of Tennessee's best home-style cooking. If over some pork or a great dessert you think of your upcoming event, go see Martha at the Bell Buckle Banquet and Recital Hall. Wedding, banquet, company party, business meeting, or just a group of friends getting together to have some fun. Martha can help you set a menu, decide on decorations, and ensure your event is successfully delivered in a big town way with small town charm. Jay Gregory has given you an invitation, so visit Southern Charm, the Bell Buckle Cafe, and the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall this holiday season. Visit Bell Buckle. Give yourself a gift.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pleased to have joining us on the set now my partner, Jerry Harris, one of my partners, Jerry Harris. And also, we're really excited today to have Chase Hartman on the set with us. And Chase is Jerry's granddaughter.
Making his grandson. What
grandson,
no, I'm
you
sorry.
Want to get him? Well, I was thinking of Reagan, who's in the studio today here. Yeah.
Look at there.
Now I got to tell you, folks, Jerry. It's been about 30 minutes since Chase got here. Jerry's been in charge of taking care of Chase, and I think he's about wore out.
I'm ready to go home and take a nap. He will wear you out now. Anybody thinks grandkids, they're born, you love them, you can spoil them and send them home.
That's right. That's one of the neatest things about grandkids.
They get to their terrible twos, and that's when you really spoil them and they drive their mother nuts. But then come the terrifying threes.
Yeah.
And I have seen those terrifying threes. Say hi. Look in the camera and say hi. Take that out so people will see what you look like. Say hey. Say hey. Look there. Look yonder. You see anybody you know? He's paying no attention to nobody. Throw your mother a kiss. How many grandkids you got?
I've got three, and you know, it's about all I can do to deal with it as well. It wears me, and it has a lot to do with your age although I will say that Reagan, if you remember, was one of our news anchors for many years till she started having a family, and so you know, she's looking today like she may be a little tired too, keeping up with Chase, and that will do that to you, as we all know. Jerry and I have had experience of that.
Oh yes, you get with Reagan, with Josh, John Michael, Josh, which reminds me, I've got one grandson and a third of one.
Right.
I've got one on the way. Right. And his name's Hunter. We've already named him.
Oh, cool. All right. So, yeah, all right. So next year we'll be having even more. And, you know, Jerry and I had a rule here that absolutely did not work for us. And that because, you know, Jenny worked with us on the news and sometimes on Living. And Jerry had a rule that before you girls have any family, we need to know in advance so we can make plans. And they totally disregarded that and went off on their own. And
that's right.
So, you know, here we are, you know. So
what do you want to do? Let's see. You want to go see your mother? Okay. All
right. Well, we wanted to get Chase on TV. This is his first television appearance.
Take off.
Let's see. Let's get
your mother. I don't think he really wants to go. He wants to get into stuff.
Oh, okay. Which would be good. Let's talk for a moment.
He's going to make it.
I believe he's going to make it.
Almost.
There we go. All right.
Now he's going to walk around.
Chase, don't touch those lights. It might be hot. Okay. All right. Let's talk a moment about the walking horse industry, because I know that's what you work in all year long. It sometimes rocky year this past year, but overall, at the end of the day, it was what I would think would be a pretty good year.
Oh, we had a fantastic year, Jimmy. It's just that a lot of things came out into the open. We had Tennessee Walking Horse Show Horse Organization started. Of course, FASH continued. The Celebration stepped in and saved two major shows, one of them in Florida and one of them in Tunica, Mississippi. They've really come out and helped. Show has done a fantastic job. Other HIOs have, you know, they've done real well. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the year, I can only say one thing: it was a very successful year. Now we are looking into a bill called H.R. 6388, where the Humane Society is the one that's really pushing this. And now they've got some senators on board, but the senators don't realize that they're singling out one breed. We're not the only breed that has pads. We're not the only breed that has action devices. Through the years, there is no scientific data that says that the pads or the action device harm a horse. But they said they implicate. Well, Jimmy, it's like you and I've talked many a times. There are a lot of things that implicate different things. I can go out here and like the gun control that's going on right now, I can lay a gun down right there and it's going to sit there. It's not going to do anything until someone picks it up and uses it. The same thing with the walking horse industry. Nobody's going to abuse a horse with just setting things and shoeing them and whatnot. It's people that do it. And Show and the other HIOs have done a very good job of, you know, seeking out, finding, and getting these people, suspending them, finding them, and some of them are facing real long suspensions. So I'm thinking that in 2013, if we keep on the same level and maybe just increase a little bit more, that we're going to be just fine.
Real quick, Jerry, because we're playing to a different audience on this show than we typically do. Tell us what the H.R. 6388 does, if it should pass.
It is a bill where they're wanting to take the pads and the action device away from the walking horse, which we know they are trained and they wear pads which enhances their gait. That has built this industry since 1939. This industry has continued to progress. It was in the 50s that they come out with the pads, but the Horse Protection Act came out in the 70s. But we're still today, they're wanting to go back and say the pads and action device are harmful when they're not.
And the action device is the little chain that goes around there, around the ankles.
6 ounces.
It weighs 6 ounces. So,
well, see, here's the main thing, Jimmy, and I know we're going to run over just a second, but in our industry, we have the fewest problems with legs. We have the fewest problems. Well, we have no problem with a horse having to be euthanized because he was injured during a show. So the grounds for them to want to do that are lacking a lot, because there's nothing to prove it, nothing to substantiate it. It's just out there. And they say that once you shoe a horse, 72% or 70% of the cushion on the horse is gone. Well, that's true. And they also say that that's why a lot of horses break down, which is true. The only problem is not in the walking horse industry. That pad that we put on there provides that cushion even more than what the natural hoof would have done. So their argument is false, and there's no scientific proof to back it up. But what I just said, there is scientific proof to back it up.
And also, it's something that if you live anywhere in southern Middle Tennessee, Bedford County, Lincoln County, Coffee County, Moore County, it probably is going to impact you if this is not resolved. And tell us why, Jerry.
Well, if charities depend on the walking horse industry a lot. There is not any show that's held that does not support a charity. So you got farms, you've got all this, you've got jobs. The collateral damage that would be done would be devastating, especially to Bedford County. But the surrounding counties, they'd also suffer too. Their value would go away. It dropped significantly, and people in this industry, they know what I'm talking about and they understand it. It's a lot of people that are not in the industry, they don't really grasp it, but they can go and ask. I tell you, you ask anybody at the celebration office, you can ask anybody in a horse barn just what would happen to them. Go and ask the charity that holds a horse show. The Celebration alone supports 14 different shows or charities. Now there's 14. That's 14 of them depend on the Celebration for their annual fundraising. What happens to them? What happens to the people that depend on them? What happens to the Lions Club? They raise thousands of dollars for glasses. What happens? The collateral damage, Jimmy, is it's devastating.
And we're talking here about an industry that has probably $100 million a year economic impact easily on the Bedford County area alone.
Bedford County, Tennessee, the tourism. I mean, people just don't realize they need to sit back and really think and tell their senators that it would pay them to come and actually see what goes on rather than listening to people tell them what's going on.
Exactly. All right. Jerry, thanks so much for coming by today.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Jerry. Actually, Jerry was already here. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after these messages.
This is Eli Manning on behalf of the American Red Cross. You can help the victims of thousands of disasters across the country each year. Disasters like the recent hurricanes. Please make a financial gift to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. This fund enables the Red Cross to provide shelter, food, counseling, and other assistance to the victims of disasters. To make a contribution, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org. Thank you for your support.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Waiting around for things other people get right away just doesn't make much sense. Get high-speed Charter internet and enjoy downloads way faster than DSL.
All right, folks, we're back, and let's see, about a week ago, the Tullahoma High School football team enjoyed their banquet celebrating the 2012 season, and awards were given out, and I was grateful to be there and bring you this report on Tullahoma Wildcat football's banquet.
It's good to have everybody here to celebrate this football season, celebrate this senior class of 2013. The Ken McMurtry Booster Award for the sideline coaches. And this year, we gave it to someone who used to be a part of our staff. His health caused him to withdraw, and he started coming back last year and helping out. And this year, he even carried even more of the weight. Ricky Christie took all that upon himself, plus more. And for that, we'd like to honor you tonight, Ricky, with the Ken McMurtry Booster Award.
Special Teams Award this year goes to Cody Morton.
This award goes to Dalton Cox.
The best defensive skill player.
He never was the biggest man on the field, but he always played a lot bigger than he really was. He's a really tough kid. So, Zane, this one goes to you, man.
The best offensive line award.
Wow. What a job my offensive line did. Best offensive lineman award goes to Kelvin Hickerson. Good job, son.
Our best offensive skill player, Justin Brown.
Defensive MVP goes to Mr. Joseph London.
Young man that everybody knew about. They were all keying on him. He was somebody that the defenses were all keying on, and he still had a great year, Trey Burks. Coach's Achievement Award. And all that means is it goes to the player that became the biggest surprise on the season. And that could have gone to several of you guys. But the one who we felt like achieved more than anyone else, starting where they started, was Justin Brown. And Justin, we would like to give you this award, first time ever, the inaugural award of Coach's Achievement Award for what you did. Is the Lions Club Most Versatile Player Award. And he's normally our best athlete. And I've already read his stats off once earlier tonight, Mr. Trey Burks. And it's called the Frank Mullins Award, and it's about young men that give everything that they have to give.
And like Coach All just said, there's no way we could have given this award just to one of these guys. Both of them were 3-year letter winners and outstanding leaders for the team. So Zane Price, Dalton Cox.
Also named for an athlete who played at Tullahoma High School in the late 80s. He was a leader at Tullahoma High School. He was a leader in this community. Part of the award specifically states for it to go to a young man that plays and contributes, that leads in the hallways and in the community, and that he walks the walk of following Jesus Christ.
That's the type of person that Jason Pugh was. And this award goes to Caleb Olive. It was a pleasure coaching you, and it's an even bigger pleasure knowing you.
Coach Mo Torres is going to come and give the Coach's Award. And the Coach's Award is about some young man that is just a pleasure to coach.
A leader amongst his peers in the offensive line, Kelvin Hickerson. You received the Coach's Award. So congratulations to the 2012 Wildcat Award winner, Trevor Denny.
It is said that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and the Eye Care Center wants to make your eyes the best windows possible. The professionals at the Eye Care Center have been offering comprehensive eye care for over 30 years. From eye examinations to eye surgery, from children to seniors, we have the services you need. We pride ourselves on taking the time to fully understand our patients' wants and needs. Each patient is a unique situation and deserves our full attention and the latest treatment options. So call or stop by one of our 4 convenient locations and start seeing better today.
Hello, this is J.D. Oliver from the Smokehouse on Mount Eagle Mountain. Me and my sisters Nancy and Betsy would like to thank you all for your continued support. This year we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary at the Smokehouse. In conjunction with our 50-year celebration, we are bringing Music on the Mountain every Saturday night at 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. featuring the best of Nashville. We have had some wonderful singers, hit songwriters, and Nashville's rising stars have taken the stage. Come out this Saturday night and every Saturday night through the end of the year. Make it a date night or bring the whole family. Help us celebrate 50 years in the community. Music on the Mountain is free every Saturday night at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Smokehouse every Saturday night for great music and awesome food.
Thank you very much, y'all.
Some people think that pressing their on-demand button will cost money or make their house explode or something. Of course, neither of these things is true. On-demand is just a way to access thousands of free movies and TV shows. The code to blow up a house is actually channel up, channel down, 2*77.
On demand, thousands of free movies and TV shows on your schedule, and nothing bad.
All right, folks, we're back and can't end a year on this channel right here without talking to our old buddy Tom Corrington. He's our political pundit and friend that does all the interviewing of the, you awake over there? There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
The interviews all the politicians, and he's one of the deeper thinkers around here. And we just wanted to say Merry Christmas to Tom and Sue and all of their family. And Tom, what do you think? The Mayan calendar didn't wipe us out. We made it through 2021-12, and or whatever it was we were supposed to be gone by. We're still here.
So unfortunately, we still got to deal with everything that's out there on the table.
as far as the federal government's concerned.
Yeah, falling off the cliff and.
Do you see anything as being? Is there any activity?
Well, you know, right now, all the members of Congress are all home for Christmas. The president is in Hawaii, so I don't see how anything very meaningful could be going on. They're probably continuing to think about it, and I don't think the Congress gets back until Thursday. Probably both of them by then. So it's.
And then it's New Year's.
I think at best it's going to have to be some sort of a short-term fix, you know, so we can come back and argue again about it next year. It's really a pretty sad state of affairs, you know. I think politically for us, this has not been a good year. Among other things, we had one of the ugliest election seasons that we've ever had, and where they're really chewing each other up instead of sticking with the issues. And all the problems that are out there are not going away. And the thing, I guess, that disturbs me most, which I wish we could figure out a way to fix for the new year, is the fact that these folks can't figure out a way to work together. You know, and I...
How long has this country operated without a budget?
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
4 years, 3 years?
Yeah, at least 4 or 5 years. They've just about quit having them. I remember several years ago, the fiscal year used to end in July, and they kept running up against the deadline there. So their solution was, well, let's move it to September, and that'll give us another 3 months. So we'll have it fixed by then. I'll take care of it.
Well, now it's then to December,
yeah,
then to April, then back to July.
Yeah.
So we're 4 years.
All they do is make temporary decisions to keep paying the bills, you know. And that's
keep borrowing money to pay the bills.
Yes, borrowing money we don't have. So really, that's something I hope these guys need to understand, you know, that while they've got strong ideological positions that they believe in, at the end of the day, you can't hang on to those and drive the country in the mud.
Right.
You know, both sides have got to be willing to come together here somewhere. In other words, they're up there, as far as I'm concerned, to govern, not to sell their particular ideology.
Or to politic. They're up there to be statesmen, not politicians, and that's what they need to remember.
Yeah.
There's very few statesmen and a whole lot of politics goes on.
Well, the other thing we need to wish for the new year is that Our Lady Chandler Lawson, Miss Tennessee, is headed just in a few days for the Miss America contest.
That's right.
And we want to wish her the very best. Very, very lovely young lady. I
Maybe
think
she can bring that home.
She represents us well. So
that's right.
That would be,
that's right.
That'd be great.
So I guess what we'll do right now from Mr. Tom, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas to you.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you around here, because Tom's probably smarter than all the rest of us around here. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Look around, the changes catch your eye, and you come to realize one can make a difference. Reach out, stand out, find out what it's all about. See it all, stand tall, be there to catch them when they fall.
Since 1915, Kiwanis International has touched millions of lives through thousands of service programs for children around the world. When you help one child, you help the world.
Life is bigger than just one, but one can make a difference.
All right, Jim, we're back.
Somehow we struggled through another one, even on Christmas Day.
That's right. One thing I want to say right here, and you're going to help me with this. Christmas Day is Bob Couch's birthday, and you and I are going to do just a little short. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. That's from us to you, Bob Couch. We love you, buddy. Now, what we're going to do, Jim, there's a Christmas present was given by a friend of ours, Garland Harmon, gave his hair for Christmas.
He did, and he had a bunch of it.
And he had a bunch of it. And what we want to do right now is close this show with a great Christmas gift from a great guy to Locks of Love for a young person who's fighting cancer. And Jimmy and we'll just say Merry Christmas to all of you. All right, folks, we're at Joe Ray's Barbershop in Tullahoma, and we're going to go inside and learn about a Christmas gift. All right, this is our friend Garland Harmon right here, and he has a little Christmas gift that he's going to give today. Garland, what's going on?
I've been growing my hair for a little over a year now, and I had seen a child, it's been over a year ago, didn't have no hair because going through cancer treatments and whatnot and lost her hair. And it just got all over me, and so of course I've had a lot of negativity towards growing my hair from my mom and some of my aunts and uncles. And if I had to look back, I'd probably bought stock in shampoo and conditioner. And I'm here today to give 10 inches of my hair to Locks of Love today. I'm happy to do it.
All right, that's a great Christmas present.
Yes, it is. Merry Christmas.
This is Garland's uncle, Joe Ray, who's a barber in town for years, and you're going to do the deed, aren't you, Joe?
I'm going to do it.
All right, let's see how this works here. Locks of Love.
A lot of sawing.
A lot of sawing going on here. And there it is, right there.
I feel 10 pounds lighter.
10 inches, or well, by the time that's unraveled, that's probably going to be more than 10 inches, isn't it,
It's
Joe?
almost 12.
Almost 12 inches.
There it goes, Mama.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to who?
Mama.
Mama. That's all about Mama right there, isn't it?
Mama been talking about it for a long time. Merry Christmas, Mama. That's for Locks of Love and you too, honey. I love you.
Now here's the big job here, shaping it.
Well, Joe.
Yes.
Now what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to try to make it look like a human again.
You could only hear that from an uncle who's a barber.
You gonna party?
Now Joe's going to go after him in regular barbershop style and get this man out of the 60s and up into the 2012s.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it's a great Christmas gift from Garland Harmon to Locks of Love and his mama and all his uncles and aunts. And Joe, are you going to have to charge him for this cut, or is this going to be a Christmas cut?
Hey, Christmas present is there.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas.
Incidentally, this uncle wasn't one that criticized it.
Okay. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.